You're selling out Alabama. You're over Bama because they're not exciting anymore.
No, you're just saying what the reality is.
You guys don't want to see them anymore because they're not the sexy team
I will
now.
say this.
I will say
this. Isn't it funny how I don't know if the mighty have fallen, but boy, how often do you hear everyone questioning Saban's decisions? All of a sudden, little cracks there. People have been waiting for this for a long time because they've been so dominant. But now Clemson could be in the Clemson era now, right?
Max, Nick Saban is still great to me. He's still the great Saban to me.
I'll tell you this, man. Listen, he got one loss on the season to a team that was better than him. All right, let's get football. Okay. Right? When the committee was making a decision on Alabama without winning the SEC championship, they had to justify that this team was unequivocally better than the guys that won a championship. Okay. There is no way to do that this year.
Even if
so you're
Georgia
saying if Utah wins the Pac-12 championship,
Utah wins the Pac-12 championship, you can't stand on the table. LSU, you can't stand on the table and say Alabama, without a doubt, is better than Utah.
So you're saying,
but can you say that Utah, without a doubt, is better than Alabama?
No, but they'll be champions.
I need clarity.
That's different.
I think there's a
I need clarity.
That's just one criteria, though, is championship.
I need clarity from both of y'all. Are y'all saying that if Georgia were to lose to LSU, all right, they'd have 2 losses on the season because we saw them lose at South Carolina, and they'd be done. You're saying that Utah,
if they go,
should leapfrog over because they're 6 and Alabama's 5. You're saying they should go over?
They may not do it in that week. Well, that'll be the final week, right? If my point, Stephen, Utah goes and wins the Pac-12 championship
over Oregon,
they will jump Alabama and get the 4th spot.
How do y'all feel about the Pac-12?
I think it's okay.
Pac-12 is okay. The Pac-12 isn't great. The Pac-12 isn't great. Oregon losing just really hurt the Pac-12.
Alabama cannot be out at the expense of a conference champion that we going like this. That conference is okay. No.
I think there's a bigger issue here. The reason I brought up Saban and questioning Saban is look at what Dabo Swinney's done with that defense. Like, with turnover on one hand, you have a team that's still holding it down a little differently in terms of Clemson. I'm just saying, to me, these kind of moments are interesting, where it's like the public perception is shifting without people even being fully aware of it. I think we're on the like if Clemson wins the national title this year, it's over. It's the Clemson.
But Max, see your point.
Let me make one point. Sure. But if Alabama played Clemson's schedule, Alabama would be undefeated, without a shadow of a doubt. Clemson hasn't had the injuries on defense, too, that Alabama's had. Alabama's lost their inside linebackers, which is tantamount to them losing the quarterback on defense.
This is a perfect question none of us asked Des. This is your perfect person to ask this question to. Have any of us considered what we need to be thinking about in the event that Harbaugh and Michigan knock off Ohio State? What if
That's a good question.
You got another scenario.
But Ohio State still plays in the Big Ten championship game. They're still going to go. And if they beat Wisconsin or Minnesota, it depends on where they're ranked.
They already stomped Wisconsin, right?
Exactly. So they may stomp them out again. But if they play with Minnesota, depends on where Minnesota falls in rankings tonight. Is going to determine how strong
but if Alabama whoops up on Auburn and Ohio State's sitting there with a loss.
Then you have a good argument.
To the point of what Stephen A. just asked, we've never had to – there was clarity with Alabama. When they didn't win a championship, there was clarity. You could look at that champion and say, they way better than them. If Ohio State lost in the Big Ten championship, you could not say Alabama is way better than them. That's my point. I'm not saying they still wouldn't put Alabama in the Final Four. What I'm saying is the year that it happened, we all as football people could look at Alabama and be like, oh, that was just a flub that day.
But they got whooped in the national title game. And the team that whooped them is undefeated. And the team that whooped last year they did.
But that year they won the SEC.
I know. What I'm saying is the landscape has changed. The way we look and feel about Alabama.
Guys, last question for y'all too. Does that mean that this 4-game playoff is not enough? That we need 8? We need 12? Is that what this all means?
I believe the whole system is flawed from the selection process to the amount of teams. But if you're going to extend it to more teams, you have to really consider paying the players.
No, I like 4 because, look, it's easy to say that. When we move it to 6, it'll be an issue to arise to make it 8. Right. And then it'll be an issue to arise to make it 10.
Well, here's let me explain. Let me share my philosophy with you. My philosophy is very simple. And I'll defer to y'all. My philosophy is this. If there's a debate as to whether or not you're a top 8 team, shut the hell up. Now, if I got an 8-team playoff and you at 9 saying I belong at 8,
but Steven,
go away. I don't want to hear that. Now, top 4 is different, but top 8 should be an issue.
Here's the problem you're going to have. If you start extended, the problem you're going to have is you're going to have, hypothetically, you're going to have an undefeated SMU play Alabama. And we know damn well that ain't supposed to happen. It's just like when Michigan State made the playoff, and we knew.
Look,
and Washington.
We know the playoff has been a good thing. The question is, what's the number of teams? And of course, the problem is the more teams in the playoff, the more you dilute the regular season. Right now, what's so great still about college football, even with a 4-team playoff, is it's a double, maybe even a single elimination tournament all season at this point. The question is, do you maintain that if you go to 8? I say the number of playoff teams, you got to figure out, where do we keep it? At worst, a double elimination tournament during the regular season and get the most teams in the playoffs.
Right. It's 4 now, Des, while we have you. Give me the 4 best teams at this moment.
It's the teams that we have. Yeah, it's LSU, Ohio State, Georgia, and Clemson. Those are the 4 best right now. Those are the 4 you'd like to see
at the end.
They deserve to be. If the playoffs started today, those are the 4 that deserve to be in the college football playoff. Unequivocally.
We will go back to my original point, though. That's very, very important for the purposes of this segment. I ain't going to apologize for not wanting to see Mac Jones. The fact of the matter is this. Let me tell you. The fact of the matter is this. When we're talking about the college football,
you do that to
let me explain. Let me explain, Molly. The fact of the matter is, when you're thinking about the college football playoffs, right? Part of it is the sizzle. When we gonna stop denying that? Part of it is the sizzle.
Of course.
And the fact of the matter is like if you got an opportunity to watch Tua or some quarterback at Utah, who the hell you want to see? Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.